here is really to talk about the discussions you're all probably already having with your management, with your stakeholders and internal staff, that IT service costing can help you in being more successful in those conversations. I would also encourage you to read one of our blog topics that the title is What CIOs Need to Know About Longevity. Because we've been doing this now for a while. Matter of fact, Gartner rated us as one of the top 4 IT financial management consulting companies in the country because of our approach and our end-to-end view of IT service costing. And what we've seen in the industry, that CIOs that adopt IT service costing tend to have a longer longevity in the industry than those that only present to their managers and to their stakeholders and internal staff an asset-based view of IT service costs. So when you adopt a service cost, services perspective, like we've talked about with proxies, and what the cost of the service is, along with the asset cost, total cost of ownership, etc., underpinning it, those CIOs tend to relate better to their consumers. And in our view, we've been in this business since 2001, have a lot longer longevity than those that haven't adopted that. And I'd like to say all the ones that had longevity purchased our services, but that's just not true. So with that, I'll move forward and let's talk about this in terms of management, senior management discussions for city and government entities that are going on today that IT service costs would help, right? When you're as an IT practitioner, when you're having conversations with the county manager, city manager, comptroller, finance, I would guess to say when you're talking about IT, you're talking about it at an enterprise level. And because you're talking about it at an enterprise level, you need enterprise business intelligence to support you. So here you'll see some just classic dashboards from our cost optimization service that would help you when you're asked questions like, what services does IT provide? Right? And so here, although typically that's a longer list of services, here's a short dashboard of what services does IT provide, and you have a list. Not only the list, but how much do you provide question also gets answered in terms of the number of units of service. Using the proxy concept, how many units of service is provided? What's the capacity of the service at an enterprise level? And what is the cost? And is the cost of our internal service competitive compared to external services? So when we use a proxy concept, that maybe you're starting to get a feel for why we talked about that. We use a proxy concept, now we can start to talk with vendors and strategic outsourcers and et cetera from an apples-to-apples standpoint. Because when you're purchasing a service from IBM, Unisys, HP, or whoever is that service vendor, they present a service proxy of how they're going to charge you for the usage of their service. So having this type of enterprise business intelligence helps you quickly and successfully have conversations and discussions with these management decision makers about the value of the service to them, so that you both can collaboratively sit back and talk about what's the right amount of spend and value of that service to the entire organization. So from that, let's talk about a similar conversation that you probably have with each as a city or county IT organization, the conversations that you have with your stakeholders and the questions that you get from them. So they might ask, okay, I am the library or the municipal court organization. I am the head of that. I sponsored bringing in a specific application or service, but who else uses that? And should I continually be allocated the full cost of that service, right? Even though other people use it. And how much do they use of that service, and how much do I use? So here we see a quick graphic of who uses the services and how much service do they use. And in some cases, we have enough capacity to handle more usage than what may have been planned or budgeted, but the cost may still be the same because we do have added capacity, but we do know the number of units and which units are mission critical for what consumers. Having this type of consumption-based business intelligence help you address these types of questions, right? And certainly when we talk about can we scale costs based on usage, for example, a department grows exponentially, or there's a merger of multiple departments together, so now they're going to share the same service resources, right? And have the conversation with the stakeholder about the level of support, right? What actual roles provide service support within the IT organization for those services. So here you see some quick business intelligence that would help you answer and resolve these types of questions very quickly. Let's talk about the collaboration, because what we see customers that are adopting IT service costing, and this is more of a transparency type of slide that says, now I have to, not only do I know the cost and the usage as an IT organization of the services that we provide, but as we become very transparent with the department heads and the directors and the CIO and IT managers and even other vendors and citizens of our geographic area, we might want to have a real collaboration about service capacity, impact, and usage, and what ways can we maybe optimize the use of services. Right, so we talked about customer-facing services as business services with a proxy, but then eventually it's going to come to the technical services, which are underpinning, right, which are truly the IT-facing catalog of services. The services that we know, the name of the applications, the type of support that we provide, level desktop support or level 2 and 3 support, right? And then be able to play, if you have an IT service costing solution in place, what if games? What if we were to optimize a specific service? What if we were to shift resources from one service area to a different service area? What would be the impact on cost? What would be the impact on support? And what would be the overall impact to the organization, right? Or what if we integrate? What if we start to look at scenarios where we are looking at taking some applications and moving them to a hosted cloud environment, right? Or offshoring, or just hosting it, sharing a facility with another organization so we can allocate costs differently and share in the cost of the whole operation. All right, so the IT service costing solution that you put in place, right, really allows you to have this transparent conversation between IT organization and the stakeholder to get not only collaboration with them about it, but consensus about what the right solution would be that gives them value at a cost that is reasonable. And the final conversation here is one with the internal staff, because every year, every IT organization that I've ever been in, at the beginning of the year, fiscal year, and at the end of the fiscal year, and sometimes even at points in between, has to sit down and talk about what's our budget, and does it address the demands for service with our consumers, right? What are the services that are highly consumed, and what are the services that are least consumed, and how valuable are they to the consumers? And can we optimize these services further? So now we're taking a very comprehensive view of all, not only the services, but the cost drivers for the services: people, process, technology, usage, right? The types of proxies that we use, all of those comprehensively work together for what did we plan from a budgeting standpoint and what's actually being spent on a usage standpoint over time. Knowing this is important and allows you to have these types of discussions with your different constituencies, right? Management, department leaders, CIO, et cetera, and internal staff, in order to have very successful and quick conversations. One of the benefits we hear many customers say is having an IT service costing solution, particularly a SaaS one, in place, allows us to quickly answer questions, oftentimes in meetings, so that the whole momentum of problem solving happens quickly and allows the group to make better decisions, rather than having what I was used to in the old days of ask the question, what is the service that IT provides and how much does it cost? And we always had the standard answer of, we'll have to get back with you. And when we come back a few weeks later, we've got an answer. And if you're asked that same question about the same service 2 or 3 months from now, unfortunately, sometimes we come back with a different answer because we did not have a repeatable, consistent process that we did service costing with. We did service costing in an ad hoc basis. So the solutions that we've shown you that we provide, as well as the 12-step process that we've given you as a takeaway, if you decide to do it on your own, and you certainly can, that the consistency will greatly aid your value as an IT organization to your customers in the future.